I'm pretty sure you have already seen a Kanban board like this. Do, doing, done. It is good if you want to capture something to do. It's also good to know when you finished something, when an activity is completed. However, if you need to know what's going on, it's pretty hard because doing doesn't say anything. Doing has to be, in reality, multiple lists where we can see the stages, what's happening on each stage. So let me show you the type of board I help my clients when they are companies build, and then I'll tell you why that's not really good if you are using it for personal organization. And that's why I came up with the timeline system. So everything's gonna connect because the inspiration came from here. So let's take a look at that. The first thing I'm gonna do here is make this full screen. And we'll be using my YouTube videos production as an example of a workflow. So instead of do here, what we have is ideas for videos, right? And the next thing I do when I'm producing a video is research. Not always, but I do that. Then I have to write a script. Not always, but many times, most of the times I do that. Insert list after. Then we have to record. Then we have to edit. Edit. Finally, publish. Publish. And there's also something that I do, which is organize this. Sometimes I have to move it to a different folder in my system. So let's create this here after. I'm going to call this organize. Organize. Okay. And after, where's the done? Did I use that? I guess I used that. So okay, now we can finally add the done. So now we have all the stages. So every time I have a new idea, I can create this idea here. Idea 1, idea 2, and so on. So I now have these ideas, and they will move through the board, telling me and everybody else that's working with me in which stage that is. But it's also a great way to show the team that I finished what I had to do, and now I'm passing the baton. So here's an example. Let's say I'm responsible for researching an idea. So I can read, create some topics, and do my research for that topic. Then I move this to a script. Someone is going to write that script. And because I moved the card from one stage to another, I'm telling the person responsible for the script that I'm done. I did what I had to do. And then I can start working on another idea. And when the person responsible for the script finished writing the script, it can tell the person responsible for recording the video that that's ready. The video can be recorded. So this is how we build efficient Kanban boards, because we are talking without saying anything. I don't have to tell the person, okay, I'm done with this. You can start recording the video. Just because I moved the card, I'm telling that to the person. And there are many things, many signs like this on Kanban boards that are, you don't have to say anything. The signs will tell other people in the team that that's now their responsibility, or that I finished something, or that I need to do something, or that another person has to do something. This is, of course, an oversimplification of what I do, but I think you got the idea. Now, the problem here is, if I'm doing this alone, can you see how overwhelming this can end up becoming? Because I'm the person doing everything. I'm doing the research, I'm writing the script, I'm recording, I'm editing, I'm doing everything. And sometimes I'm doing the research and already writing the script. So where should the card be? What's the status of that activity? So the problem when you are working alone is that this can become too much. And by the way, when I'm helping companies, we don't use Obsidian. This was just an example. The software we usually use is Trello because it's straightforward, it's easy to understand, easy to learn, it's simple, it works, it's fast. It's a great software if you want to build Kanban boards and use this system. So now let's go back to the timeline system and I'll show you how this board inspired me to create a more condensed version of this. Because one thing that I didn't mention, even if I'm using an app like Trello, if I'm doing everything, it's going to become very hard to follow everything if I have 4, 5, or 6 boards, because that's what I would have to have. Imagine I would have to have one for my YouTube, another one for collaborations, another one for clients, and take care of everything. When you're working in a team, each person will take care of some of the stages from each board. And Trello has a very good summary. All those apps have good summaries, so we can go to that and take a look at what we need to do. But again, when we are alone, that's too much. So what I tried to do here was condense all the boards inside the action container. Forget this one here. I just created this to add the Kanban boards inside. But here, clients, clippings, collaborations, creator, maker, trips. These are Kanban boards. And as you can see here, this number tells me how many clients I have. And here, 0, by the way, this is my second account, not a real account, okay? 3 collaborations in progress, 0 ideas or 0 things that I'm working on, 0 maker projects, and 0 trips coming up. So just by looking at these numbers, I have a good sense of what I have to do. So this here represents the backlog. The first list is called the backlog, and parts, some of the list from the beginning of the board. So my rationale here was, if I'm the only one doing the work, I can kind of understand just by looking at this what is happening. Is the client A here a prospect? Is it a real client? Is this one almost finishing? What is, I can look because there's not a lot that I can do, that I can handle as a single person. But remember the doing, done, we are getting to that spot again, because if I have like 5 clients here, I don't know, maybe 10 ideas and 5 videos in progress, then suddenly I'm right in the doing lane, the doing list, and I don't know what's happening, okay? So what I did was put these 2 ideas together. Some of them I don't need to do it. For example, clippings is just to grab clippings. Collaborations, I do collaborate a lot on the channel, but it's not that I'm working with 10 collaborations at the same time. So it's usually a small number, 2 or 3 at the same time. So that's okay. I don't need to do that there. Trips, I don't need a Kanban board to organize my trips. I've been doing this for so many years, so having the trips here is okay. No need for Kanban board, but also Maker. I know what the projects I'm doing. It's a physical things. I'm dealing with the project, so I know what's the stage of that project. I don't need a Kanban board here, but creator and clients are very good candidates to mix, to have these 2 systems being used together. So Let's go back to my YouTube workflow and let's organize this here in a way that it will help me keep the action containers, but give me a sense of what's happening, what's going on with each activity. Okay, let's hide this for a moment, and this is what I actually need. I need a place to write the ideas. I need a place to know that I'm still working on that. And when I say research here, it can be anything. It can be something that I have to learn. It can be, I don't know, I have to prepare, like set the stage to be able to record. So it's everything related to before producing, which is the next stage here. And producing encompasses everything here from recording, editing, everything that is creating a video. Again, I don't need all the details because I'm a single person, but I need to know what is happening. So if I have a new idea, I need a place to put that new idea, and I need to know how many things I'm still preparing to be able to produce. And then when I'm done with this, I can add this to publish, because sometimes I don't publish right away. I have to wait for something, or I record 2 or 3 videos in advance, and I then can have it ready to publish, and I know that this is ready to publish. And as this is happening, other cards start moving to the next steps. Okay, and finally here, I only created the last list I created here was organized. So what to do with this? Is this something that I will move to a different folder? Let's go back here to the timeline. When a video is completed, when I'm done with the video, I have to move it to the timeline, remove it from the creator folder and add it to the timeline, which brings us to a setting that I want to add here. So if we go to the settings of this board, because the plugin will allow you to set up the entire plugin or just some board. So this board here it is. Node template, let's use a new node as a template, and the default folder will be creator. So now if I create a new idea here, let's call this idea 3, and I create a node here, new node from card, we can go back here, and here it is. I now know that there is one idea in progress, one something happening inside the creator container, and I can go to the board. It was already here, but I can go to that board and take a look at what's happening. So let's create the other ones, new node from card, new node from card. Okay, now let's pretend this is not here and we need to do our work. So there are 4 things here inside the container, and I can open this. Okay, I have all this happening. What's going on here? I can click each one and take a look at each one, or I can go to the boards and look for that board and see what's happening. Now, you may ask, why did I create this boards here, space, this folder, instead of putting it here? It could be here, right? The problem is it will count as another activity because the plugin counts everything that is inside, every node that is inside the container, the folder. And because the Kanban board is just another node disguised as a Kanban board, it will count as a node. So that's the only reason I created a separate space for the boards. This is already too much. The video is already too long. And by the way, if you are a supporter on Patreon, YouTube, you can go check the first chapter of the course. I'm recording and producing a course about the timeline system. It's already there. You can check it. But again, this is already too much. But I wanted to give you an idea of how we can use the containers together with other systems. For example, this is a Kanban system, but we can do the same thing with tasks. Instead of a board, each one of this here could have tasks inside it, and we could have a dashboard with all our tasks using the tasks plugin, and of course that will also be part of the course. Okay, that's it. If it was helpful, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and if you want to help even more, please consider supporting my work on Patreon or YouTube. Thanks for watching. See you soon.